Okay. Without further ado, welcome back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between. It's been a little while. We'll get into that, but just happy to be back in our luxurious studio, aka the corner of my apartment. But no, we're back. We weren't gone forever. We were just gone for a little bit. Sort of like the first time. This one was just a little less of a, whatever you want to call it, a little less of a break. I think last episode I put out was around a month ago. There's been so much that has happened in between. That sounds so crazy, like there's going to be breaking news. Not so much crazy stuff has happened. I've just been busy with work, travel, personal life stuff like weddings and this and that, and just things to go to that I just did not, and raising a puppy who would literally bite at my wires and whine every time I would go to shoot a podcast. And it's not like I can seclude myself to another studio. So we left for a little bit, but we're back now. Welcome back. I'm happy to be back. Happy to continue on podcasting because, as I've always said, one of my favorite things to do. I've always been told since I was young, you could talk to a wall. You're annoying. You don't shut up. Why are you so talkative? And the list goes on. So why not talk to a camera? Wouldn't that make sense? As I'm watching my puppy bite more stuff as soon as I start recording, that's fun. And I swear, Archie. No. Pause. Archie, come on, man. I'm trying to do something for me. Please. You're the cutest thing in the world, but I just want to stop. No. Currently watching him bite at the tripods. He was just biting at the headphones a little bit ago, so we'll see if he just wants to maybe chill out. Maybe you just lay right there and enjoy. You were just napping most of the day and chilling, and we went on a nice long walk, but the second I start to podcast, you want to get all crazy. I know you're smarter than I may think you are, but no, we're back. And no, all of that's obviously made it so that I, wasn't so consistent with weekly episodes and, doing it as frequently as I would like to. Obviously, that would annoy me a little bit because I'm like, oh, well, you know what? If this is something I really want to do, then I'll make time for it. Then I'll make it happen, whatever it may be. And I wasn't doing that as well, and that kind of bummed me out because I'm like, okay, this is something I really want to do, so let's actually do it. And I said today, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like this is something I want to do. Yeah, I've done it for like 2 years now off and on. So why wouldn't I just strap up the boots and do this shit? So we're back. That was a long-winded answer. It's been a lot. We'll get into what I've been doing. But, first and foremost, I guess one of the big things that I've always sat here was like, what do I want this show to be? I guess plain and simple, I would just want this show to be a journey because it wouldn't be genuine if I were to sit here and be like, I only want to talk about one thing because I love talking about sports. I love pop culture. I love comedy. I love talking about my life. I love giving and I just like talking about literally everything. And I never wanted to box myself in of like, I'm only talking about this. I'm only talking about that. I get it. Like a lot of my episodes have been like, oh, what's going on in the world? Cause like that's, from pop culture to sports, whatever, those are the things that interest me a ton along with my life. I know there's not a ton I can talk about in my in terms of my work life because I don't want to jeopardize that. I love being able to kind of have both things. And if I were to go in depth about my personal life, work-wise, it would absolutely jeopardize it, and I would be so fucking quick out of a job. So I try to nurture that as best I can. But yeah, this show doesn't really have a specific, like, this is a sports podcast, this is a pop culture podcast, this is a lifestyle. Like, I just want it to be everything. Like, I want to be able to talk about everything to everyone and just give my thoughts on that no one asked for. I'm aware. But just give my thoughts on whatever I can because that shit's fun to me. So I think it's going to be a journey. Like, I can't sit here today in 2025 and tell you this is what the show is going to be about. I truthfully just love sitting and talking, and God forbid the day that I get guests, and I know I did have guests, we'll get them, but when I can get guests on the podcast, you know, I love to talk about any and everything. So we're going to continue to do that. But no, it has been a whirlwind of a past, I guess, month and a half, 2 months since my last episode. I've just been, you know, I went from New York back to LA to Atlanta, back to LA, back to New York to San Francisco, back to LA. It's just been for work and personal stuff, like just fun shit. But it's just been so much travel. I feel like every other week I've been on a plane. I did ask for this, so that's no complaint here. Partly of what I'm going to talk about today is frequent flyer miles. Those things rock. Trying to get more of those. But no, we've just been here, there, and everywhere. Again, as I said on the last episode before my break, we got a puppy, and he's still a puppy, but he's adjusting better. The first 2 episodes I tried to shoot when, you know, we first welcomed him home, he was like, let me fuck everything up. Like, oh, your headphones ripped apart. Oh, your tripods, let me knock. Like, it was hell for a little bit. And to be expected, but I just figured, I was like, oh, maybe I can put up some guardrail or whatever. Did not. He was like, I smell your bullshit from a mile away. Come on now. So that also made it tough to like find time to shoot an episode. And when I did have time to shoot an episode, everything was getting fucked up. So that's where that went. And he's getting a little better. He's chilling. He's about 7 months old now, Mr. Archie Man. I don't love him to death. I don't want to call him over here because that's just gonna ignite him even more. But no, so we've been doing that. It was fun. Went to PGA Tour in Atlanta for work. That was sick. Being able to see all the golf rocks. First off, I don't know if that's because I'm getting older. I'm 26 now. I don't know if old age has made it so I'm like golf rocks, but like it rocks. Like I've even found myself like from the Ryder Cup to the rest of the Tour Championship to whatever, like I've found myself watching it. I don't know if that's an issue or not. You know, my dad watches golf every single day, but he's 67 years old. So I don't know what to make of that. I don't know. I'm kind of making it as like maybe I'm more eloquent. I'm watching golf now. Not sure. But no, we did that. We went to New York for a wedding, went to Hudson Valley. And funny enough, as someone who's from New York, lived for 22 years. Damn, we've been out here for 4 years. Lived 22 years in New York. I've never once been to Hudson Valley ever in my life. I don't even think I've driven through it. That place is beautiful. And I've realized that that's become like that's the wellness retreat, weird type of hotel wellness spa shit that New York has to offer. Like it's not even in the Hamptons. It's in like the Hudson Valley. Like that's where those things are. But no, went to a wedding up there. It was so beautiful. It was cool because we don't really ever go back to the East Coast during fall. And especially being able to stay in like we literally stayed in the country. Like it was Airbnb. The house was old as shit. We were like on a farm. It was so cool. It like, I don't know. It made me think we were in like a mix. It was like we were in Cheaper by the Dozen meets, I don't know, Cheaper by the Dozen meets something. Because like we were all like me, Emma's fan, like we were all packed in a house. We all had our rooms. It was all chill. And it was one of those things where like there's literally nothing to do there. So it's like you would go out into the town, then come back and do nothing and all chill, play cards, do whatever. And it literally made me feel like, oh, and there was a mouse. That's what made me feel like Cheaper by the Dozen. There was a mouse that would run through the house. I didn't really care because it's a mouse, it's not a rat. I'd still love to know the difference between those two because, like, people fucking hate rats. But, yeah, it was so cute, fun to do. Then came back here, and then, like, 3 days later, I just went to San Francisco for work. Went to Meta's headquarters, actually. Shout out AI. Shout out the Zuck, man. That was crazy because I've been to Meta's headquarters in LA for work, and those are cool. But even everyone who worked at the LA office was like, no, this office is kind of cool. Wait until, like, if you ever get the chance to go to our Palo Alto office or even their New York, but they were like, it's a city. I'm not even joking. It's a city to go. Like we just went for meetings. Basically we had like 3-4 meetings throughout the day. We had to take a shuttle to each building, and not like one of those things where it's across the busy street, take this shuttle. No, it was like blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks away. It's legitimately its own city. It was one of the crazier things I have ever seen in an office building. Now, given I haven't been to the most I haven't been to Apple Park, I haven't been to Amazon, whatever, but it was the craziest thing I've ever witnessed. Like a legitimate city. Like this place has a gym, showers, barbershops, restaurants, medical, like obviously their offices and stuff, arcade. Like they had legitimate street set up, and it looked like at certain points when you're sitting there, it looked like you were downtown, but like you'd see there's this restaurant and then you would see just a shit ton of coders in the building next door. And it's like, holy shit. Like that stuff's crazy. And I can't talk about everything we did there, but tested out some new products that were insane to say the least. Now, I was born in 1999. It's not like I'm that old. Like I've came up in the world of technology. And every new thing, it's been crazy. You know, it was like the first phone I ever had was actually like a Samsung like slide phone. And then you see the iPhones and you're like, holy shit, this is crazy. Touchscreen. Oh my God. And then, you know, something like the AirPods are made and you're like, holy shit, no cord. And then like something like AirDrop is made and you're like, oh my God. And Tesla is self-driving, like the Waymos here in LA, self-driving cars. You're like, damn, like we are really in the future, but it's way sooner than I thought it was going to be. Bro, the shit we were seeing was insane to say the least. The products that we were testing out were crazy. And it's just, they really want to augment every possible part of life, which is crazy. Like, I don't know. I truthfully, if you're asking me, I try to stay out of like the knowing of the tech world, and just if something comes out and it can be of use to me, like ChatGPT. People hate ChatGPT. It helps me in my everyday work. That's the type of thing that I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I'll be sold on that. Like, I like that. But the further technology and like really like diving deep and doing your research on AI, it's like, I'm so good on that because I just know that is either going to make me so nervous or just like mad or whatever it may be. I'm good on it. Let the engineers and the smart people do their shit. If God forbid there's a reason I would need to use it, fantastic. But yeah, some of the stuff I was seeing was just like, wow, like you're truthfully making it so you do not have to do anything anymore. And it's just kind of crazy. What are you doing? I don't know what he's doing. But no, it was crazy. And like the world will see, you know, some of these products. It's not like I wasn't seeing secret shit. It was just more like we were being able to test out products before they came to market. And it was crazy. So the world will see the rest of them, and I'm very curious to see how people react, but it was crazy to me. It just, again, furthered my understanding that I don't know shit about shit. And I'm kind of okay with that. I'm kind of cool staying in my lane, and I'll stay in my lane happily. But no, that's really been the last 4 or 5 weeks. Also a hop into where I want to, you know, have this show go once we keep once I keep going. I'm going back to weekly episodes. And my most recent thing. But other than that, as my life update segment, obviously went over Meta. Been working a ton. One of our clients, I don't want to say it yet, even though, you know, this podcast gets like 50 views. One of our clients has the craziest opportunity to date of her career coming up. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for it. She deserves every little bit of it. So I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. I'm so glad for her. Be on the lookout for some fun stuff happening. What? He's really being a menace right now. But no, so that should be fun. So going to New York in a little bit. Just got new offices, so that's been super cool. There's going to be, you know, there's just going to be so much more output with it, and obviously that'll take me out of work from home because contrary to popular belief, work from home is not really that lit. Like, don't get me wrong, I know the allure of it, and again, if you have a pet or if you just don't like being out and about, which respect, it's really not all it's cracked up to be. Now, don't get me wrong, and I know this is, you know, picking and choosing and having your cake and eating it too, whatever. I like a hybrid. I like hey, we have an office, either come in 2 days a week or come in whenever you want. That's kind of like what we're at the moment. Because I'm like, yeah, there's some days I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to do anything, and I can work from home. There's other days where I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of this apartment, so let me go somewhere. So I kind of like the mix of both, but we got a new office. That's been awesome. And really just been learning. Like, it's been... What are you doing? It's really been, a lot of learning recently because I want to take shit to the next level for me, at least. I'm 26. I've been in this world for 4 or 5 years now, and I want to continue to grow. One thing that I've been always aware of, but I always have to remind myself is just stop fucking comparing. And what I mean by that is I'll see people my age or even younger. They started a business or, they're co-founders of this or whatever it may be. And I'm like, damn, I need to do that. And then that's when the thoughts come in of shit, I should be doing this. I should be doing this. I should be doing this. Opposed to just enjoying the journey where we're at. Because again, if you told me 5-6 years ago we'd be here on the set of this podcast, kidding. But being able to do what I do for work, I'd be like, yeah, you're fucking lying. There's no way. No way. So of course I'm grateful for that. But, I'm in a place of wanting to continue to excel. And, I like the learning process of it all. I'm not someone that goes into a situation I know everything. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm the epitome of learn the hard way, truthfully. I almost get so angry at myself because I'm like, what are you not fucking understanding? This has been a frequent thing where I just continue to learn the hard way. And that's not a woe is me. Why do I put myself in those positions. I've literally had certain moments where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And someone's like, yeah, you really shouldn't. That's not going to be good. And what do? I go ahead and do it because I think if it does work out, home run. If not, I'm fucked. And then I end up being fucked. And I learned the hard way. So there's definitely no one to blame on that other than me. But we've been learning. So that's all that matters. I'm just enjoying learning this space, seeing, all the different avenues you can go and shit. So that's really been the last little bit of kind of what we've been doing up until this point. So it's been fun. We're now into fall. Literally best season on the face of the earth. I don't agree and won't argue with anyone that says otherwise. You clearly aren't from the Northeast or just are cool in general because every little thing about fall is superior to every other season out there in terms of weather, the best, the way shit looks, the best, fun things to do, the best. The only thing about fall that another season has beat is holidays, and that's because winter technically has Thanksgiving, but it has Christmas, and Christmas is the best. I mean, I'll never argue with someone on that. Christmas is the best holiday on the planet Earth, always. But fall's the best time ever, and I'm a big Halloween guy, and it also gives me a chance to have something to watch every night because literally the second October 1st starts, boom, horror movie every night. Every single night. God, I love horror movies. It's only October 3rd, and I think we've done Friday the 13th, Halloween, the 2018 one, and Hereditary so far. So we're gonna keep on it. Horror movie every night. But fall's the fucking best. If you don't like fall, I legitimately don't think. If you don't think it's the best, we can coexist. If you don't like fall, I legitimately don't think I can trust you. That's up there with the same traits of I don't like dogs. I don't like fall and I don't like dogs are almost coincide to me of I can't trust this person. If you have this opinion, I can't trust you. And the camera just caught the dirtiest bottom socks of all time. Apologies. But no, so we've been doing that. Excited for things like fucking horror nights. That's something about living in a big city that's awesome that even though I still small town lover, but a big city will always give you is just things to do around holiday seasons and shit because there was a couple fun things to do back home, your pumpkin patches and your shit. But if you live in a big city, there's always something to do around any type of holiday. And Halloween here, aside from it being fucking 75, is awesome. There's so much to do. There's actually really good pumpkin patches. There's horror nights. There's other events that are put on. and it fucking rocks. It really does rock. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the movies coming out. There's some good scary movies, like Black Phone 2 is coming out. That's going to be good. That's really the main horror movie I've seen coming out that I'm going to go see, so I'm excited for that. I just saw, oh my God, One Battle After Another. Now we're on to movie talk. One Battle After Another was phenomenal. First off, like Benicio del Toro said, 3 letters, PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson. Just an absolute amazing director, and his movies are always just so weird, but in the best way. This movie exceeded my expectations, and one of my friends who works for IMAX actually got to interview Leo and Benicio, but then he got an early screening, and he was talking to me about the movie before it came out, and he was like, no, like, it was good because the first 10 to 20 minutes you think the movie's going to go in some sort of direction, and it completely shifts to something completely different. And also, like, you have no idea what you're watching with the trailer at all. And he could not have been more right. I just want to make sure we're still fucking recording here. Are we? Yeah, we are. Sorry, that looks so weird. This is as low budget as it gets. I get it, and I apologize. But no, like, the previews do it no justice in a good way, and the first 10 to 20 minutes you think it's going to be something, and it's not. It was such a good movie. The cast was insane. The plot was awesome. Like, I think it's Leo's best role since Wolf of Wall Street. I legitimately believe that. Because I don't know, you don't really get to see him play goofy guy all the time. Like, again, I know on Wolf of Wall Street you saw him play that eccentric, crazy, drugged up, Wall Street guy, but like, he just plays a fucking loser in this one. And he played it so well, and it was awesome. And Chase Infinity, like, this being her first major acting role, and this is the cast she's with, crazy. She did great. Benicio did great. Tiana Taylor, Regina Hall, like, fucking Sean Penn, like, him as a villain, like, there's going to be so many Oscar nominations for this movie, in my opinion, because I think Leo's going to get one. I think Benicio del Toro is going to get one. I think Tiana Taylor is going to get one. Sean Penn is definitely going to get one. Chase Infinity probably, but Sean Penn is a villain character. I really would love to see inside the brain of, like, who made that character. Obviously it was PTA, but there's always other people involved to, like, give little tidbits, and just to see his character's, like, villain arc of not wanting, like, having the chance to apprehend these people so many times, but not wanting to because he loves them, but he's also racist. But it was just crazy. He killed it. I'm always like, what he does with his mouth was crazy. Movie was awesome, and I finally unlocked something that people have talked about all the time. And every time I've heard people talk about it, I'm like, yeah, that rocks. And that's going to the movies alone. I did that, and it was such an awesome experience. It was great. Now, don't get me wrong. I love to be accompanied to the movies. I love going to the movies when other people love to go to the movies. But this was a different feeling. Like, this was sick. This was, I'm on my own time, get whatever snack I want. I'll sit down. Like, I don't know. I'm in my own world. It was sick. It was a very, very good time. I will be going to more movies alone just because it's fun. Not purposefully. Again, if someone wants to come to the movies, be my guest. But it was so fun. And that movie was honestly awesome. So I'm glad I got to go see that. Another thing that came out recently that I just have to say hats off to, Sidemen Inside USA, their reality show that they came out with Netflix. It was so good. I wanted to not like it only because one of our clients was supposed to be on the show and something happened last minute to which they couldn't. And I was like, don't want to watch it now, hope it's bad, blah. Of course, me being a hater. It was so good. Like, Sidemen Inside USA was so good. They put together such a good production. Everything from how the show was shot, the challenges, the cast they had, and the beef they had, the way it was set up with the money. Like, it was so good. Having a show that not only do challenges and alliances create tension, but to have the premise of, boom, here's your $1 million prize. Every cent you spend from here on forward takes away from this prize. And, they give you the necessities you need. They give you water for a shower that's cold. They give you food every day that's just beans and rice and shit. But you can upgrade your meal. You can buy warm water for 5 minutes. You can buy snacks and wine and tequila and fun games to play. All this type of stuff you can buy. And they bought it. And even one time there was an immunity auction for the next round that you could spend money on. And Bree Teresi from Selling Sunset spent $200,000, $200,000. Like, I'll go into that in a second. But regardless, the show was all like I would love to see the ratings of that because, again, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Not that I'm the marksman for everybody, but I would be surprised if someone turned Inside on and did not like the show. So I'm very excited. But we're gonna go through a little rundown of it. Favorite person, Sketch, obviously. Sketch was awesome. He played such a terrible game. In his head, he thought he was playing a great game, but he was just so paranoid, did everything like he was just outing himself at every turn. Like, I'm trying to make an alliance with you, but I'm trying to do this. But and everyone was outing him the second he confessed to them about things. Like, hey, I think I want to be with you guys. Then they would go tell the boys. And then it became a boys versus girls thing very, very quickly. But Sketch was my favorite, obviously. Zach Justice was probably up there as well because he's just a good guy, never spent any money, caused no problems, let Aisha win. So he was up there. Probably Aisha, like, because if I'm being honest, if you look at straight gameplay, I think Aisha Mian played the best game, truthfully, because like everyone might think she got brought along, this and that, whatever. She played her role. She sat back while Fanita and Bree just screamed the entire time. She was like, let me chill. And then she coordinated her own alliance with Ekin-Su, Sydney, Zach Justice, Max before he got voted. Like she was the only girl that did a good job having an alliance with guys and girls. So she chilled on that for a little bit. She was basically one of the main deciders of getting Fanita and Bree out, which was also fantastic. She would try to do, and it worked the time when she bought Cornhole to try to make people be mad at the boys. That worked until she confessed. She made it all the way to the end, and it was kind of a gimme, but regardless, she made it all the way to the end because I legitimately think she arguably played the best game. I really do. Like, she was sneaky when she had to be, quiet when she had to be. So I do think, regardless of like Mark giving her his box and Zach giving her the lever, I still think she's deserving of the win. Again, Zach played a great game, so did Mark, but like she was actually like doing moves. Like Mark and Zach didn't really conspire or like have a plan. None of the guys had plans, but they were just chilling. Aisha played the best game. She deserved to win, and it was awesome. Fanita and Bree were so annoying, just as a viewer. Like, I'll tell you straight up that I don't know how Fanita can keep going on the what, because I'm a big personality and I'm loud, that makes me a target. Like, no shit. Like, what? Yeah. Like, it 100% makes you a target. Like, that's how game shows work. Either A, on the personally side of I'm stuck in a place with this person who I have no phone to distract myself, no TV, no nothing, and I have to sit here and fucking listen to this the entire time. So, boom, there's reason one. Two, for her, and of course, anytime someone's good at rallying people up and basically becoming the leader of a situation, when someone comes at them for that, of course, their rebuttal is always, well, they're followers. We're their followers. Cool, that's fine, but that doesn't take away from the original fact of, like, you were basically bullying everybody into, like, kind of, and being loud so that everyone followed you, which, honestly, fair. Congratulate, like, that's dope. Like, that's actually, like, how it should be, but how do you know, like, everyone wants to kill the king. You wanted to be the queen, everyone's going to take the head off the queen. That's literally how it works. Like, why do you think there wasn't a head guy? There was a head guy that was walking around, like, Dwight, by actual size, largest guy, most vibrant, fun, etc. But he wasn't sitting, like, trying to, like, force people to do things, make game plans, talking shit. He was just vibing. If Dwight Howard was doing that, I'm sure some of the guys would be like, ooh, we got to get him out. If Zach Justice or Sketch or Max were, like, they probably would have been like, ooh, we have to, like, when Sketch was being sketchy and trying to do that type of stuff, then everybody was like, yeah, we got to get him out. We got to get him out. Sorry. Even though he lost on the challenge, but still, like, he was going to be one of the next to go. So yeah, I do think that it's funny too, because like Brie or Fanita was like, all y'all are followers, but her main follower, literally, that followed her around like a little puppy dog, was the self-proclaimed 30-something-year-old who like is a bad bitch, whatever. Brie followed her around like a puppy dog. If you watch Inside and you didn't think that, then I don't know what to tell you, because like zero personality, no connections with other people. You even saw it. Like, why would you have to say the comment, oh, when Fanita was gone, I knew I was fucked? Because you were her little lapdog. That's literally why you were fucked. Like, other girls were on Fanita's side for some things, but then they weaned off because they realized, like, this is bullshit. You were her lapdog. And then you want to preach about how, like, I'm grown, y'all are followers, y'all are fake as fuck, bitch. Like, no, you were a puppy dog for the entire show, trying to act like some big dog, and it didn't work. Tough. You lost. And obviously, you know, maybe it's a little too dramatic, but like, I can't get over the selfishness of the $200,000. Like, that's wild to me. Like, it's one thing if, you know, they had a set rate that they were only allowed to spend in there, and that's what it was getting taken away from. But like, you literally spent $200,000 out of money that other people were going to take home as their winnings. $200,000. Like, that's enough money for a home. Like, crazy. And Monopoly money. And it's funny that she says like Monopoly money when like she's not even the richest on the show. And I'm not even talking about Dwight Howard, but like, she's not even the richest on the show. So like, I don't know why you're talking like that. So she rubbed me the complete wrong way. And the reunion was, I wish they would drop an uncut version of the reunion, because it was awesome, because Sketch was airing out all that shit, which was great. And that's what's funny, where on the show, of course, Brie's going to act like some big dog, like outside of the show she'd have any fucking support. She's not even in the top like 4 biggest characters on her own reality show. Please. And you expect you to have some crazy, like, oh, you have Fanita. Good for, oh, you got Fanita on your side. Good for you. The fuck? Like, what? And like, Brie just took it way too far. Fanita was just loud and annoying. Like, that's just, she was just loud, annoying, and pretty hypocritical, if I'm being completely honest. Brie's just a bad person, in my opinion, on the show, just from what I got from the show. But regardless, I thought it was so entertaining. I'll probably rewatch it, if I'm being honest. I hope they do a US version again. No, and Sidemen knocked it out of the fucking park. Like, I would be so hype if I was a Sidemen, just because, wow, we made a reality show. It's on Netflix, and it's really fucking good. So I thought that was good. Sidemen was awesome. I'm trying to think what else. What else has been going on? I talked about this. I talked about how AI scares me, but I'll go in a little more that just AI scares me. Put it there. Where, again, it'll probably be a little hypocritical, because I use ChatGPT pretty frequently for work. Why wouldn't I? When I can like grammatically check something or try to format something a different way, or if I need help making spread, whatever it may be, like, of course I'm going to use it. It's at my disposal and it's there. Why not? So I guess I'm a little bit of a hypocrite, but he came out with the Sona or whatever ChatGPT's video version is. Sam Altman came out with a video. Terrifying. Don't like it. That's part of what I was talking about earlier, where I'm like, I don't need it in my life. I don't. Like, yes, they're going to create these things. I don't want any part of it. I'm good. Keep your Sona or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm so good on that. Please keep it away from me. I'm scared. Because AI is just getting so crazy now, with just being able to make videos, impersonate people's voices, like information, like just what it's able to do. Like, it's both awesome and fucking scary. Like, for people to be on either extreme, right or left on that, like, if you're like, no, all AI sucks and it's not awesome, that's just not true. But if people are just like, every single part of it's awesome, it's great, I can't wait for more, I'm also like, you're too meta for me. Like, you want to be like a robot, and I'm not cool with that. So I'm like directly in the middle of like, oh, that 50% I'm fucking terrified and I want nothing to do with. But I like this 50%. I'll chill with this. So, and I know I touched on it, but AI is fucking scary and scam, whatever. But, in other news, everybody's favorite fucking scam artist, who everyone knew was a scam artist for the longest time, but somehow people took his advice, Tai Lopez, is being brought up on a $112 million Ponzi scheme. $112 million Ponzi scheme. Who could have saw? Everyone. Who could have saw that coming? Everyone. Like, I love it too, now that I live in LA, where since I've lived in LA, I think he's had like 3 posts being like, hi guys, I bought this house and I'm throwing a big mansion party at this house I just bought. And it's a house that I specifically know that nobody owns. And I know that for a fact because part of my job as well is to find event spaces that are in these types of houses and rent them out for a weekend. And these are the exact type of houses that Tai Lopez does. I know that for a fact. But of course his followers aren't going to know it. And they think that this guy's some type of fucking guru. But he's been a scam artist for like 15 years, back when he was like, you want to drive this Lamborghini? You want to drive, like, him, Grant Cardone will have his day. Those are the main 2 scam artists, but they'll both have their days. Well, one of them's having his fucking day. So I just think that's fucking hilarious that the world is finally on to the Tai Lopez scams of the world, which is crazy. And I know people who even I went to high school with that fucking worship this dude. We're like, yeah, he's so smart. No, he's just, if you want to be a scammer, fantastic. But like, just own up to it. He's teaching you how to be a scammer. Straight up. That's what it is. He's not teaching you business. There's no business about scamming. Like, that's just what he's doing. And if you're cool with that, great. But he's just being brought up, and I think that's fucking funny. With the travel, I've been. This is the ADHD part of the podcast, just because I need to do better in, listing all my stuff. But I'm obsessed with airline miles now, because the last 3 or 4 trips I've taken for work or personal, I've used Delta. I have a Delta account, and I think I'm up to like 15K miles now. And when I saw that, I was like, holy shit. Like, yeah, like I'm going to be able to buy flights with this, blah, 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 this and that. I think one upgrade for like a business class flight is like 40,000 miles. So I got a little ways to go until I'm like diamond medallion status or whatever the fuck it's called. But I got a little bit. We're not there yet. I forgot how many miles you need to actually get some upgrades in this world. But I went and made myself an account on Delta and United, because those are the main 2 I fly. So I need to do that. Also, need to get a Chase credit card, because I heard those have the best fucking points. So we're going to do that, because been on my travel shit a lot recently, and I know so many people that are on the same type of financial life and plan as me. And I'm like, how are you going to all this blah, blah, blah? And they're like, no, this credit card that gives you points, and then I use my miles and this and that. And I'm like, bet. Because I've always been stupid and just paid outright. I've been like, I don't give a shit about that. It's going to take too much work. I'm just going to pay my money. And that's why that's why I waste a lot of money. That and Uber Eats. That's another podcast time. But I need to start using those, because airline miles rock and you will get benefits. So that's me. I'm trying to think what else we got going on. Oh, literally as of today, Diddy got sentenced 4 years. I don't know what to make of it, where like obviously he deserves more years, but like the only 2 charges they end up getting at were prostitution charges. And I'm pretty sure prostitution charges, no matter what they are, like don't really carry that long of a sentence and offense and stuff like that. So it's like, in the eyes of what they brought him up on, I guess it's kind of like normal. Because again, they dropped the charges of like trafficking and this and that and all the crazy shit. So the stuff that he actually went to court with, or like was going to get sentenced by, 4 years kind of makes sense, just because again, it's not like he was getting charged, like he wasn't, the sentencing didn't take into account all that other shit, because it all got dropped. Still a bad guy, definitely still a bad person for sure. Like I don't think prison's going to change him at all, because he's going to come out to the same type of money, and he's going to, don't get me wrong, like not much of his life is going to change, because like the people who still want stuff from him, and that's just how it goes in celebrity and rich people life. Like he's not going to be back going to parties and doing all this crazy stuff, but he's not going to have a hard time adjusting back to his shit. Like it's Diddy. Like if we're being realistic about it, he's not going to be in the spotlight anymore, but after that 2 years is up, because it's basically only going to serve 2 years, he's going to just go right back to his shit, if I'm being honest. But sentenced to 4 years, that was crazy. Uproar in the comedy community with the Riyadh Comedy Festival. I don't really know what to make of this one, because in America, we always have, like, stop judging. Like, I get it. I know there's a lot of bad shit, like they beheaded someone, women's rights, gay rights, all this type of stuff in Saudi Arabia. I understand that. I don't really know, like, how much Saudi Arabia is doing to, like, actually change their policies and become more of a nicer nation to people. But I know everybody's in uproar about this, and I can just tell you one thing. If you were doing the same job that you have right now, whatever it may be, whether you're, I don't know, a dentist, an accountant, you're in law school, you're in business, you're in real estate, whatever, and Saudi Arabia was like, hey, for one weekend, would you like to do exactly what you do, but do it here, and we'll pay you millions, yes, millions of dollars. I'd bet everything that I have that 99% of people are going to say yeah, and they're not going to give a fuck. I guarantee that. The only one that's crazy is Pete Davidson, just because Saudi Arabia is the nation that quite literally is the reason his dad's dead. Crazy. And he's got his reasons. And maybe it is the money. But for everybody to be like, oh, I can't believe they're like, how could you know how much money they probably paid? Dave Chappelle would probably got at least $5 to $10 million for a weekend's worth of shows. So technically, not by Dave Chappelle's standards, but to anybody else, you are getting life-changing money, retirement money, generational money for a weekend to go do what you normally do as a job all year round for a weekend. Nobody who is criticizing it is saying no to that, other than some of the comedians that supposedly people reached out to and said no, probably because they weren't getting that type of money. Because, you know, you can have comedian B who was offered $100K because they're not big, being like, of course I didn't take it, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe Bill Burr took it. Well, they probably offered him $5 million. So, like, yeah, those jokes about, like, oh, there's not much I wouldn't do for $5 million. Like, yeah, go perform a comedy show in Saudi Arabia. I don't think that's the hardest thing in the world. So everyone was in an uproar about that, but that was just crazy. Officially, UFC's fighting at the White House. Life is crazy. It's just insane. Like, Conor McGregor is going to be fighting at the White House. Crazy. Everyone deserves second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth chances. Clearly. And that's just, I think he raped somebody. But anywho, that's crazy to me that there's even a UFC, like, the security that's going to be there is going to be absurd. Absolutely absurd. And I'm curious to see what the layout of it is going to be like. But no, that's basically crazy. We got NFL and college football coming up this weekend. MLB playoffs, don't really give a fuck about those until it's the World Series because it's boring. Bills rock. My Bears are 2-2 right now. It's not looking terrible. It's not looking great, but Ben Johnson's starting to get the flow. People are getting bought in on Ben Johnson. And they're not looking terrible. Bills are looking fucking just insane. Ravens, rest in peace to Stavros Halkias. That anonymous video that he put out, God, I love him. He's one of my favorite comedians, to be honest. That video was just hilarious. Or a bunch of gay little computer guys that blah, blah, blah. Like, he's hilarious. But Ravens are not doing good. Who really are the only juggernauts? I mean, the only undefeated teams, Eagles and Bills. So those teams are great. I still think Kansas City is going to come back. Indianapolis looks good. None of the South really looks good. Chargers are still good. 49ers, 4-1, 5-1 now. Crazy. Mac Jones, baller. And he's like, I respect it because they asked him after the game last night just kind of like what he thinks about everything. He's like, I was brought in here to be a backup, and that's what I'm going to do. Straight up. Swag. And you got Trent Williams calling him a dog and saying he's swagful. Like, that's pretty cool if you ask me. So, no, that's good. Chargers are looking pretty good. I'm trying to think. Commanders, I'll wait and see until Jaden Daniels is back. Bengals fucking suck. Who else is really? Cardinals, Raiders suck. Cowboys could be sneaky, frisky fun. We'll have to wait and see. Green Bay's obviously really good. Lions are fantastic, per usual. So, no, it's been good. Week 6 going on. I'm excited. I just love, that's another part about getting old. I love being so lazy on a Sunday and doing nothing and watching football all day. But that's one thing about the West Coast that I don't know how people do it, and I'm so not a fan of it, that Sunday football starts at 9 a.m. That's terrible. Like, I even remember back in the East Coast, at least you'd wake up, you could probably go get some breakfast in or go to the gym or go on a walk or just chill out, do whatever you wanted to do, because football didn't start till noon. It starts at 9 a.m. Like, 9 a.m. fucking sucks. And then the night game starts like 5 p.m. That sucks. And I know you can't do anything about it, but it just sucks. So I'm not a fan of that. But no, I'm excited for that. NBA season starting up soon. And we're back. But I want to get into some segments really quick. My segments we have our check-in segment, our check-out segment, and our wake-up call segment. So check-in, what's in? What are we fucking with? Me personally. My check-in, Indian food. Boom. I would drop this mic, but I don't want to fuck it up. Indian food is my check-in. Anyone who knows me knows that I didn't have a legit food palate until I was probably like 21. No lie. I was just the most picky person on the face of the earth. And once I turned 21, and then honestly moving to Los Angeles, I've probably eaten everything I can imagine at this point, truthfully. Like every ethnic food, every type of way something's cooked, whatever it may be. And I truthfully at this point love just about all foods. Indian food was the last one. For some reason, I just couldn't. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the smell or like what it was, but there's been 2 or 3 times I got it, and I was like, holy shit, this is insane. I got it a couple days ago. I'm like, this rocks. Why? It literally feels like a whole new world every time. Like when we were in New York even, we went to a Greek restaurant because my girlfriend's uncle is Greek. And normally, if you ask 20-year-old Casey, let's go to a Greek restaurant, I would legitimately probably like, can we just get Chipotle or Domino's or like go to Applebee's or something like that? Like I would not have been happy. Or I would have tried to find like the chicken tenders on the menu or the most, whatever I could pronounce. We went to this restaurant. I can't tell you what I got because it was all in Greek, but it was fantastic. It was phenomenal. The food was insane. That was good. And now the Indian food I've been having, phenomenal. Like I literally have been getting so excited being like, I don't even know what I'm biting into, but this rocks. This rocks. I don't even know what I'm tasting, but it tastes great. And it's like a whole new world, and this is usually what people experience at like 13. I'm 26. So, wow, what a crazy voice drop. I'm actually so excited to experience it now, but Indian food, so in. Indian people, you're great at making food. Boom. Check out, not to sound like a broken record here, AI. I'm checking out on the parts that I've been seeing. I'm scared of them. Not fucking with them. Don't want to die by it. And I don't want it to take over my brain. So I'm sticking just to ChatGPT to help me out with like emails and like formatting and shit. That's where I'm at. But AI, checkout 11. That's what you're at. And my wake up call is the movie industry, because I think they're waking up a little bit, not as much as maybe people would like them to, but it's been a thing that you hear directors and actors talk about all the time, that, you know, ever since the Marvels of the world and the DCs and the this and the that, you know, they only want to focus on franchises. They don't want to do that much original. Comedy isn't really even being made that much anymore. And I think there's being a little shift right now, you know, from everything. We've had stuff like Naked Gun, Sinners, One Battle After Another. You know, you have Roofman coming out. You have, I mean, Black Phone was kind of an original, but it's the second one, whatever. And those are just the ones off the top of my head I can think of. But you're having more original storylines coming out that I think are so much better than franchises, because I'm like, I don't necessarily care about that. There's some I do. And again, I'll be hypocritical with that because, right, like I went to go see the most recent and last Conjuring, and it was good. Nothing like the first one, but it was good. But, you know, the 79th Marvel movie and DC movie and this movie, like, I'm just, give us original, give us comedy, it can be horror too, but just give us original movies. Like, that's what's good. And they're just not throwing budgets at it anymore, but I think they are now. So I'm excited. I think studios are having that wake-up call because clearly the public has been loving them. So I'm excited, hoping we get more throughout the rest of this year, next year, and years to come. So I'm excited as a fan. And I'm also excited just to be back. I'm excited to film another episode. I'm gonna actually make a point to do this once a week. I know, whoa, that's crazy. Wow, yeah. But I know I can be better. This is going to be a journey. Like I said in the beginning of this episode, it's going to be a journey to find out what I want this show to be. You know, the layout of it's going to get better. The production, hopefully, as time goes on, will get better. And we're just going to keep on keeping on, you know. So whoever does watch this, you're going to grow with me. I'm going to talk about the things that interest me, like I said, of pop culture, entertainment, sports, life, whatever. I'm going to talk about my own experiences, just in the world that I work in and shit that I do, and maybe people can take something from that. And just everything else that interests me, to be honest, because that's what I love to do. I love to fucking talk to people or to myself about fun shit. So we're going to continue to do that. Other than that, we're back, and until next episode, peace. Yeah.